Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. I'm your host, Heather McMahan. Y'all, I am so excited. I am so pumped. We have announced my next special entitled Breadwinner is coming out October 11th on Hulu. I am so excited to be a part of the Hulu Disney family. Like, can't believe that's a real thing. So thank you to them for being so incredible. And I'm just so pumped for you guys to see it. This was a big announcement. I mean, these specials are such a labor of love in the sense that it's your baby, as cheesy as that fucking sounds. I spent a year and a half touring the material, working on it. We got to shoot the special at the Fox Theater, my favorite theater. And it was so special to shoot it in my hometown. And what an incredible journey that was. You're gonna love it. It's absolutely out of control. I mean, this makes the first special look soft. Like, you're gonna fucking love it. And I need you. I need you there. I need you to download it, watch it, play it, favorite it, save it, keep it on repeat, and just let them hoes know that we in business, baby. But I'm really excited. So mark your calendars, October 11th, on Hulu. Very excited. And thank you to everybody who was a part of it, the making of it, and just the team. And we've been really, grinding. All this stuff happens. You put it out into the ethosphere and then it's all very last minute. So we have been on text chains and phone calls and editing and doing shit at burning the midnight oil. But it is so exciting to finally announce. Also this week, I'm going to be on the new episode of Call Her Daddy with my dear father, Alex Cooper. She was amazing and so much fun. And I really do have such a respect for her. And this is not a ass kissing, blowing smoke up the ass kind of way. I always loved her podcast, but then to see how she operates and runs her world was so eye-opening. And we had a really great time. And she's just a cool chick. She was really great, has a great sense of humor, super fucking funny. So honored that she's having me on this week. And that is going to be a really fun sit down. And she was so thoughtful in the questions that she asked. But, she's had a lot of guests on recently that have been talking about more heavy and serious things. And this is just a unhinged, fucking out of control episode. We had the best time. I mean, we do touch on Tinder things, but I think you're really going to love it. So please also download that, listen to it, give her your feedback. I hope you love it. But this was it's a real big day in the world of podcasting. So I'm so grateful that she had me on. Hold on, already thirsty. Oh, God, dry as anything. But man, so much is going on. And it's scary when a new special comes out. Let me explain to you kind of how this all works. You work on this material, you fine tune it, you do a billion fucking shows, and then you shoot the special, you edit it, and then it comes out. And then once it drops, you got to start from scratch. And I just want to say thank you so much to the team at Zanies in Nashville this weekend and everybody who came out. We sold out 2 incredible shows on Sunday night. And I know Sunday, the week of a hurricane, is a tough time to come out, but y'all really showed up for me. And thank you for letting me, start from scratch. I mean, I haven't run any of this material. The 6 o'clock show was so fun. And then the 8:45 show was even more fun because, now I'm in the zone, I'm in the pocket. I know what works, what didn't work, but y'all were just down to fucking clown. And that's 90% of it. And I am so grateful that y'all showed up and we were fucking giggling. So, by the time Nashville, when I come back to you, sometime I'm sure in the spring or next fall, it'll be a totally different show. So this is how it works. I'm going to be announcing some tour dates very soon. With that, I will also be adding club dates. So the clubs are great because they're intimate. We get to work out this shit together. I get to talk to y'all, be right on your crotch, figure out what the fuck is making you tick, and then you can see me figure it all out. And then by the time we get to the theaters, it's a well-oiled machine, baby. But I'm excited. I took off this fall because I wanted to concentrate on some other things that I'm writing, and I knew I'd be doing press and all this shit for this current hour that's about to come out. But it's been so nice to have the time off. But man, getting back on stage in Nashville this past weekend, You don't realize it. It's like a drug. And I know that sounds so self fucking indulgent, but it is. Like getting on stage, seeing your smiling little faces, knowing that the tip of my labia is right in your face while you're eating chicken tenders. There is no greater feeling of community and just wellness. Also shout out to, let me put this hat on real quick. Shout out to the ladies from the Southern Wives Club. They sent me this great hat that says just Southern on the front. You know what I mean? And that's the message we're trying to get across. I should have worn this in my special because in the special Breadwinner, I'm in a full denim and diamonds outfit. That just says, hey, I'm here, I'm from the South, I'm a new money bitch, and I'm excited to be shaking my tits on stage. But let me tell you, this is what I love about the South, okay? And I love performing all over, but my Southern audience knows me. I come backstage at Zany's, and it's one of my favorite comedy clubs. I love the Zany's family. But, it's a very small green room. It's just, has an L-shaped couch, 2 couches, and a well-stocked fridge, but very small room. And I walk in, and there's a giant ice sculpture from the ladies who run the Southern Wives Club with my name. It's a giant cowboy boot, and it is just over the top. They sent booze to like take ice luge shots with. I could not believe this. And one of the gals who was working the club was like, Heather, we've never had a giant ice sculpture delivered. They called 10 times to let us know it's on its way. And this is what I love about performing in the South. Women just fucking show up. They bring gifts. So I want you to know when I do announce this tour and I start coming to places like Florida and shit, y'all better bring the gifts. Portland, Seattle, I want hand crocheted photos of my face, okay? I can put them in the office. We'll hang them from the curtains. We'll put them in the bookshelf. I need more gifts handmade with my own face, okay? But I was just like, fuck yes. It feels good to be back. And I love these gals who always bring me the best merch. They have really fun, great stuff. So check them out, the Southern Wives Club. What else is happening? Hey, want to give a thinking of you, how can we help little memo out to everybody that was affected by the hurricane. It tore up Atlanta. The west side of Atlanta is a hot fucking mess right now. I have dear friends in Asheville, North Carolina, who live in the Biltmore Estates area. My buddy Obi, I was checking in on him. He's like, we literally are at the top of this mountain. Trees are down, water everywhere. I mean, there's parts of the Southeast right now that are absolutely decimated. And I'm trying to figure out some ways that I can give back, whether it's I do a comedy show, the proceeds go to that. I'm figuring it out, obviously making donations where I can, but I want to figure out a smarter way. So if anybody has any input, please feel free to slide in my DMs. I've been getting a lot of random links, but I'm thinking it might be better off doing a larger thing as a whole and then figuring out how to disperse that. And even my girls like Britt and Amber, Boho Britt, Salty Locks, who does my hair in Augusta, Augusta got just torn up. And I finally got in touch with them. I'm like, girls, what's going on? And listen, this is a God thing. They just moved their parents into a different house. They moved them out of their childhood home and put them in a ranch style home. So their parents, as they get older, don't have to deal with stairs, even though their parents are in good health. And Britt sent me a photo of their home that the parents just moved out of. I mean, just the roof is blown off, trees right through the bedroom window. And Britt said, had mom and dad been, in there 2 days later, they would have been dead. So I know a lot of people in the Southeast communities right now, my people all over South Carolina, Augusta, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina. I'm thinking of you. We're going to figure out ways to give back, but I know a lot of people are counting their blessings right now. So, hug the people that you love, bring them close, tell them that you love them, because you never know what the fuck can happen. And, but Tina and I were driving back from Nashville yesterday, and I was like, it's wild to think that you could live up in the North Carolina mountains and see the effects of a fucking hurricane. And that's why a lot of people didn't know anything was coming. Like, you knew the thunderstorms were coming, high winds, but what happened was the levees were breaking, the dams are breaking, and then it's just mass flooding. And when you're underwater, they always say water's worse than fire. And just absolutely a lot of people didn't see it coming. And I'll tell you something. I watched a really interesting TikTok about this guy, this husband. I should have caught his name. I saved the video. It was basically like the definition of if he wanted to, he would. This guy says basically his wife was at a vet conference in Asheville, North Carolina. The storm hits. Nobody saw the storm coming that hard to that area. You know, all the highways are out. There's just no roads out of town because all the bridges collapsed, all the infrastructure, everything is flooded, and there's no cell phone service. So this guy said, and this is just good. Hey, I love a safety tip. You can, with the new phones, you can turn your phone, I guess, on airplane mode and somehow connect to a satellite. So there is a satellite option on the new iPhones. And, listen, I guess shout out to Elon Musk. He brought the Starlink up there. But the only way the guy was able to connect with his wife was by connecting. She would be able to connect to satellite Starlink every now and then. And he went up there and it took him 2 days to find his wife, but he was able to help her backtrack to, go down different back roads and up a mountain and through the woods and, to grandmother's house we go. But he found his wife and was able to get her out of there. And that is the definition of if he wanted to, he would. So just know if the guy you're dating, the gal you're dating shows up for you in a fucking emergency situation and they don't say like she's got it, he's got it, because I all know we're bad bitches. I mean, that's when you know you got a good one. If they wanted to, they would. And bitch, you better. Okay? I wasn't even in harm's way. And Jeff is, I've said this, not a jealous guy, he didn't worry about me. He knows I have it. But one night, Tina and I were out. All the trouble I get into is with Tina. We went out to Yeppa. We had dinner. Or no, we were at Yeppa. We had dinner. And then we were going to go to our buddy's house for a quick drink because our friends from Italy were in town. And I told Jeff, I rarely get to really let my hair down. I told Jeff, honey, about to get in the car, be home in 30 minutes. Well, as I was walking to the car, we got the text to go to the next party, and I forgot to tell Jeff. And I didn't tell him where I was going. And we went to another side of town to one of our other friends. The house was at a friend of a friend's. Long story short, Jeff is looking at me. He's like, you didn't come home in 30 minutes. He sees me on the other side of town in an area he's never seen me in before. And he must have called me 35 fucking times. Finally, and I put my phone down. I'm at the party. I'm chit-chatting, using broken Italian. I'm hanging out with everybody. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, fuck. I forgot to tell Jeff I wasn't coming home. When I tell you I have never been in so much trouble in my life, and it was probably one of the hottest things Jeff's ever done. And I was scared. I knew. He's like, God damn it, I was this close to getting in the car with the weapon and coming to find your ass. He was panicked. And I got home that night and I was drunk and I couldn't get in the garage because the keypad, I forgot the code. I'm dyslexic with numbers. And so then I had to call him at like 1 a.m. and I'm profusely apologizing. He lets me in and he didn't talk to me till the next morning at like noon. He's like, don't ever scare me like that again. Ever. You at least tell me where you're going. And I was like, yes, daddy. And of course, he'd never been mad at me like that. But it's a definition of if they wanted to, they would. Okay? And he said, bitch, do not tell me you're coming home in 20 minutes. I expect you to be in the bed snuggling with the Frenchies. And then the next thing, you're in East Jesus at a fucking keg party, bitch. And I said, I apologize. But man, I saw this TikTok. I mean, this guy moved heaven and earth. And obviously he loves and adores his wife. But this guy just drove from Florida to North Carolina to find his wife. That's what you do. But anyways, what else is happening? Oh, God. We're about to fucking just be in the thick of it. The downtime has been nice, but we are gearing up. This weekend, I'm going to the Hello Sunshine Shine Away event in LA with Miss Reese Witherspoon. Cannot wait to be in surrounded by a community of female entrepreneurs. I'm speaking on a panel. I'm doing some stand up. It's going to be so incredible. I love the whole team over at Hello Sunshine. They're awesome. And obviously, you got to see my special moment with Reese at the Emmys, and she's such a doll. So I'm so excited to be telling some jokes and hanging out with a bunch of bad bitches, That's a good Saturday to me. Listen, you give me a white wine by 10 a.m. and let me tell some jokes. Let me tell some jokes to some broads. That's a great fucking weekend. But yeah, what's happening? I mean, I will tell you. Last night, I got back from Nashville, feeling just such a sense of gratitude and how much fun we had over the weekend. And Ray opened up; he did a great job, and we had everybody there. Tina was there, and Emily's running social media, and Jen's helping me, organize my thoughts. And it was just all hands on deck, and we had a really lovely weekend. But I was driving back, and it was still kind of harrowing coming down. There were still lots of trees down everywhere. And I'm laying in bed last night, and I don't want to sound like a nut, but if you don't have a flat case of water in your car or in your house right now, I think at this point we know that the end is coming. Get a flashlight. If this is a safety reminder to get just a little bug out bag, whether you've got a pair of sneakers, a flashlight, maybe $100 cash, some water, and some fucking peanut butter, do it. I mean, we can't be fucking around with this because this Hurricane Helene just came in, and now I think we got like Isaac and fucking Bronson on the way back. I mean, there's like 3 more coming. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a nice safety reminder to just get a couple sweet treats, throw them in a big Vera Bradley bag with, I don't know, a flare and a fucking loaded gun, and just be ready to fucking go if you've got to. So what I do is, when I do the edibles at night, I then go on Instacart, and I call it lazy girl prepping. Hold on, let me fix my ear thing. Let me explain to you what lazy girl prepping is. You go on Instacart. You do a mass order at Costco. I mean, I got flats of water. I got some, dry dog food in case shit hits the fan and the pups need to eat. I got peanut butter, canned tuna, wild-caught salmon in the can, nuts, some grains, some chips, a couple dips, and I've got enough food and enough dry goods to last me at least a week. All right. Because I was looking around the house. Our house it's an ingredients household. It was never a food household. I'm trying to change that, but I don't love to cook. So I panicked, and I was high as a fucking kite. And when I tell you, I woke up this morning to a lovely guy with a flatbed truck delivering probably $1,000 worth of shit to my garage. I said, whoopsie daisy. And my husband had to go out and help him. He's like, Heather, who the fuck is in our driveway right now delivering 65 pails of tuna fish? And I said, got a little stoned and got a little panicked last night. But, you don't need to go as far as I'm going. But, feeding Jeff alone, like the thought of being stuck with Jeff in an emergency situation in a fucking bunker or a treehouse or on a roof or in some sort of, vehicle for more than 48 hours and we're eating cans of tuna, I would rather just lay myself down in front of the car and let it run me over. Like, I love him, and of course my survival instincts will kick in, but he's going to eat us out of house and home. Like, they say you need enough shit to last, I think, like 2 weeks. With Jeff, we'll get 15 minutes into the apocalypse, and I'll say there's no freeze-dried beef stroganoff because Jeff made it all. So I'm always slapping him. Don't touch it. Don't touch the fun-sized candy bars. That's in our prep. That's in our safety stash. He's like, it's so ridiculous. You watch TikTok, you get paranoid. I said, you know what? I was in Girl Scouts for 2 days. And I was in the brownies division. Remember when you're really little and it's called brownies? I joined brownies because I thought that's all you did was made and then eat said brownies. But turns out after you leave brownies, you get into the first level of real Girl Scouts. See, that's what they do. Girl Scouts calls the younger Girl Scout denominations brownies to weed out all the fat chicks who they know will never survive in the woods. Now, technically, you would think because I have a little bit more body fat on my bones, I would last longer than some of the other thin gals in the woods. But they also know that I too, I mean, I'm the pot calling the kettle black right now. I'm yelling at Jeff, dude, you give me 2 gummies and 3 feet of island space on my kitchen island, and I can make a fucking mess. I can whip up some snacks in the middle of the night. But listen, anybody who's listening, get a jar of peanut butter, get 2 gallons of water, and, a flashlight with some batteries. You never know what the fuck could happen. Just a, stranger danger safety reminder. Just be prepared. If the nuclear bomb hits, I want to be the first one out. I'm going to see my savior. I already know I can chit chat with my father and all my dead pets in heaven. We'll be good. It'll be great. I know where I'm going. God bless. But if it's something like a storm where we're going to survive and we got to hold on, just have a couple things prepared. All right. That's all I'm saying. Get a pack of tampons. You have a safety kit. All you really need is what? So you need like iodine, a little zinc, a couple zinc pills. That's nature's remedy for everything. Maybe a Z-Pack and something for a yeaster. And the tampons are to absorb blood if there's you got a little whoopsie daisy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what do I really want in a survival pack? What do I really want? Ooh, maybe like bring your gel nail kit. I got one of those during the pandemic. And I was doing gel nail. Because if we're going to be out in the woods, at least, you're going to want to sit around. We're going to be bored at some point. Maybe that would be my thing that I could bring to society is I could do nails. I could be the beauty department. We can't do blowouts because we don't have, there's probably no electricity. The grid's down. But I could do those heatless curls. When I was little, and I don't know if y'all remember Shirley Temple, but I was obsessed with Shirley Temple, obviously, a show kid. And my mom would do these things called rag curls. She would take up an old rag, and then you would wrap the curls and tie them in bows. And at every slumber party, I had rag curls. And you'd go to bed with these little curls, and you'd wake up and you'd have Shirley Temple hair. Well, guess what? That trend's coming back. If we're in the fucking woods and we're fighting for our life, everyone's going to look like Shirley Temple. You're going to be leaving my beauty bar looking like a 1920s child actress. Deal with it. But I started following this guy on TikTok, and he showed me how to rip up a aluminum foil from a gum wrapper, and you take 2 ends and you attach it to a battery, and it immediately started a fire. I'm like, we should just know basic things. I'm not getting crazy. I'm not building a bunker. Again, if it's the bomb goes off, take me in the first blast. But if it's like we could avoid it, then I'm going to avoid it. Because, I can't rely on Jeff for survival. He'll come fight for me. He'll hold down the fort. He'll, shoot away the bad guys. But Jeff has been currently fighting with moles in our front yard, and it is like literally watching a blind kid play whack-a-mole at an arcade. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, Jeff has done everything from literally set off dynamite in our front yard to try and kill these things. He can't figure it the fuck out. Watching him clean our pool some days is like, who the fuck did I marry? I feel like a lot of men make things a lot more complicated and more difficult than they need to be. And I'm really working with not trying to say I can do it better. No, Jeff, that's his domain. You do it. That's you. But I watch very judgingly from our bay window in our kitchen, him tinker around the backyard. And I'm just like, this motherfucker. So ladies, take a gummy tonight. Do a little Instacart order. That way you don't have to go to Costco and break your back. Somebody who's trying to pay their bills, who wants that job, can do it. Just get a thing of peanut butter, and maybe pack your vibrator. And that's all you need to hang out in the woods for a week. But battery operated. Remember, you can't plug it in or get a solar charger. Anyways, that's where we're at. But yeah, thinking of everybody, I'm gonna make some calls today. We're gonna figure out a way to to just fucking pick up the pieces, man. It's so crazy. But anything positive? Yeah, the special's coming out. I'm going to be doing a lot of press too in the following weeks. Please stay supportive. I'm sick of my fucking self. You're sick of me. I'm going to be saying the same things in interviews over and over again. Heather, what's your special about? Me making more money than Jeff. And then we're all going to have a laugh. And then someone's going to say, how does Jeff feel about this? And then I'm going to have to say, male comedians are never asked this question, but because I'm a woman saying it, all of a sudden it's a thing. And then Jeff will be in the back being like, I'm going to go play golf. And then we'll all have a laugh and it'll be like, don't worry about him. Okay. He is fed. He gets water. I let him out of his cage 4 times a day to go pee in the yard. Jeff's fine. He's fine. Oh, God. I can't wait to be at this entrepreneur weekend with all gals. I can't wait for the coffee talk. You're standing at the water cooler. Hey, what's your business? Oh, you make candles. Great. Is your husband a pain in the ass? Fantastic. I know it's going to be the same conversations over and over again in the best way. And this is where I get my material. Are you kidding me? Talking to 1,000 women at a female entrepreneurship workshop weekend? Honey, this hour writes itself. Also, I just realized, I didn't even realize that I did this. I'm wearing... No, I didn't wear it. Tina just said, did you wear this? I just realized I'm wearing the t-shirt that we sold at the taping. No, I didn't even realize that. The only reason I put this on today is because it's a double XL and it was big. I said, Jeff, do you have a big t-shirt? And this is the biggest one. I mean, I look like an absolute heifer on camera right now, I'm sure, but I'm very comfortable. Wow, full circle. I always do this shit and I never realize it. Hold on one second. I need some lip gloss. Lips are dry. I also, if you're watching this on camera, I do look like I have leprosy. I have a flaking spray tan. So I tried to scrub last night, but I didn't go hard enough. And it's a little splotchy right now. I apologize. What else is happening? Just, all the things. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be doing the press. Thank you for the continued support. But I need you to know this is a numbers game. So click, subscribe. Yay, we love you. Heather. I just need it. For the next month, for the month of October, I need you to be so far up my own ass that we're all annoyed. And then I will repay you handsomely when you come out to the shows on the road. I'll show you my tits. I'll birth your babies. I will give you a back massage. However weird or intimate you want these next round of shows to be, I will make them that as a thank you. But just so you know, I know how much this is going to be annoying in the next month. But this is showbiz, baby, and this is the game we play. Had a ton of fun at the People's Choice Awards. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. The People's Choice Country Awards, People's Choice Country Awards. I had the best time on the red carpet. Thank you, of course, to E for having me back. Dude, it is so interesting interviewing musicians versus actors, specifically, though, country musicians versus actors. It was the warmest red carpet. Everybody who came through in Nashville is just the best. But let me tell you what. When I tell you some of these country music men, respectfully, they were all married, were some of the most handsome, took my breath away, pussy clenched, did not know how to even interview them in a way that allowed for words to come out of my mouth. There was this one guy, Parker McCollum, incredible musician. He's got a great voice. He's so talented. And I think he just had a baby. He's married. His wife's beautiful. Perfect family. I'm not breaking up the family unit, okay? I just want to state that. When I tell you, though, his sexy swag. He stepped up onto the platform where I was doing the questions. He took his cowboy hat off. Let me put my baseball hat on. He took his hat off, literally placed it over his heart. He was like, "Did I catch your name? Was it Heather?" And I said, "Yes, it's Heather." And he's like, "Miss Heather, it's a pleasure to be talking to you. Ask me anything." And then he put his hat back on. Oh my God. When I tell you, I was just like, what's it like to be a country music artist? Like, I could not get words out when he placed that cowboy hat over his gorgeous heart and said, "Miss Heather, ask me anything," and then place that hat back on. I wanted to just build a barn. I didn't know there were so many different emotions. I thought about leaving Jeff. I thought about moving to Nashville, running away, driving, through the Grand Ole Opry in an old Corvette with the scarf around my head, just living, hitting the open road with a cowboy. I didn't know what to do. He was such a gentleman. I mean, the guys from the band Old Dominion, so good looking, so handsome, so fun, little big town. They were great. MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, who seems like he would be very intimidating, was so kind, so nice, shaboozy, so handsome. I mean, I didn't have a single bad thing to say about anybody from that country music space. They were all so kind. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. Thank you for tuning into that. But damn, I'll tell you what, I always grew up a real female country music artist fan. Obviously, the Mirandas, the Shanias. I was a big Sarah Evans fan, Gretchen Wilson, all of the above. But I am going to be listening to the boys a little bit now, too, because they stole my hearts and stole my panties. You know what I'm saying? Man. There used to be a great song. She's in love with the boy. And even if she's got to run away, she's gonna marry that boy someday. Trisha Yearwood. Great song. I mean, I was in love with every single man and woman who stood up on that podium and let me ask them a question. It was just hot, sexy, fantastic. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. I'm gonna get into the voicemails. I miss talking to you guys. Sorry we got locked out of the whatchamacallit. We got locked out of the hotline last week. We got hacked. It was technical difficulty, but we are back, baby. So I'm going to get into your voicemails now. As always, you can call in 800-213-7503. So let's get into this. Call in anytime, but preferably if you call in Monday mornings, they'll be fresh. Here we go. First voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Natalie from Florida. My absolutely not is getting in a huge fight with my sister because she was prank texting me from my mom's cell phone. I guess she was helping my mom do something on her phone and then started texting me the poop emoji and a bunch of other stuff that didn't make sense. I told her to grow up, and I didn't think it was funny, and now we haven't spoken in like 5 days. So just wanted to get your opinion since I know you have a sister and you also like pranking people.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
I am okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm on your sister's side. I think you're being a little sensitive about this. Now, I have somebody who currently prank phone calls me 4 times a week. I get text messages from a guy or a gal. It's a new number every time. They're always threatening me, and then I play back, and we have a great time. We banter back and forth. I also have somebody who, this is a very sophisticated way to prank, but basically, and it always happens when my mom and I are together, when we're in the same vicinity. It's not when we're away from each other. It will show up on my caller ID. It'll say mom calling, her photo, everything. I will answer it, and it'll literally be like an automated computer recording. Like, you better go catch your refrigerator. It's running. Like one of those old fucking 1920s jokes, which my mom may be in charge of this. And then 3 minutes later, her phone will ring, and it'll show my caller ID, and it's another random automated prank. And it's weird. I don't know who hacked us. I don't know how they do it. But my mom and I know if we're together and our phones start ringing back and forth, like we're not touching them, we're like, here come the fucking pranks. I don't know how to stop them. But if you prank me and I'm not worried that anybody's hurt or in danger, I'm going along with it. I love a good, safe prank, an innocent giggle, something that makes you think twice. I don't mean to be repetitive on this podcast, but when we were in college, my girlfriend, shout out to Lindsay, I won't even say her last name, she knows, Lindsay and Melissa. Lindsay, Melissa, and I, two of my sorority sisters, we prank phone called this girl's ex-boyfriend who lived down on the coast of Mississippi. And there were these t-shirts called Guy Harvey t-shirts. Imagine it's like Salt Life adjacent, but it's a very southern Mississippi thing where Guy Harvey was a designer, and it was always like a swordfish jumping out of the water on the back of a Comfort Colors t-shirt. And we prank phone called this girl's ex-boyfriend, told him he had won like $20,000 worth of Guy Harvey merch in a what was it? A PT Cruiser. He won a PT Cruiser filled to the brim with Guy Harvey swordfish shirts. And when I called, I did my radio voice like, hey, it's Bruce with Z105.7 out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Do I have Daryl on the line? And he's like, yeah, that's me. And I'm like, Daryl, where are you right now? He's like, I'm sitting at the frat house at Mississippi State. I was like, well, Daryl, guess what? All your frat brothers entered you in a contest and you won $20,000 worth of Guy Harvey t-shirts that are stuffed in your brand new eggplant purple PT Cruiser. Dude, we had this guy on the hook. He was fucking geeked out. He was so excited. And then at the end, I was like, you fucking loser. Don't ever cheat on Lindsay again. Suck my dick. And hung up. And that to this day, we were on the phone with this guy for 30 fucking minutes. He should have been smarter. You never talk to anybody on the radio for longer than 90 seconds. This guy was fucking stupid. But, man, I used to do that shit all the time. You know what would actually be super funny? Is if you guys call in and I prank your exes. We could maybe make that a new segment. It's harmless. We never say anybody's hurt. No one's in danger. We're not trying to get them to wire us money. But I love a good old-fashioned, hey, man. Okay, here's one. Ooh, this is a good one. Like, hey, what's up? I got your number. I know you work out at Crunch Fitness in Boise, and I got your number. Heard you were looking, you're looking for a new relationship, and man, thank you so much for slipping your number into my locker. I've been checking you out on the bench press, and you just think that somebody at the gym got his number. Like, I've been checking you out. I know that you've been feeling the vibes. I've been feeling the vibes. You just make them think that you're like a creeper from the gym. But man, I got those photos that you put in my locker with your number, and I'm excited. You want to go to Applebee's tomorrow or tonight? You let me know. Like stuff like that. Harmless. Those are fun. I'm getting jazzed thinking about the text prank. Okay, but back to you. You're clearly being sensitive about this. And now I will say my mom is currently in Ireland right now. And what my mom does is, I've thought she's had dementia about 16 times this week, because she will voice note a message to me and then forget to click quit recording. And then it just picks up all this random bits of conversation that are around her. So it'll be just jibble jabble, scribble scrabble, won't make any fucking sense. And so I get, hey, Heather, what a bunch of shit from Costco. I'm worried. People are running out of food and water. And then literally, this was a text I got today, right after that. Oh, good. Just got a public service announcement that because a biochem lab exploded about an hour outside of Atlanta, we can't go outside because the air quality is bad. Robin texted, Irish used to do Rayo and his uncle was. Like, that's what I get. And then I have to say, Mom, what? And she goes, oh, shit, was still recording. So, I get that you would get upset if your mom starts sending you a bunch of random emojis and shit, and you're like, this is it. This is the end. She finally lost her fucking mind, and this is the only way she knows how to communicate with me is through emojis because it's finally happened. We're all, honestly waiting for the day that our parents go full fucking psychosis. So I get it, but you need to loosen up. And I'd be more than happy to prank phone call your sister back. But listen, sis could get hit by a fucking Ulta train tomorrow. So call her back. Don't be a cunt. All right, let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, Heather. I'm going to remain anonymous for this one, but absolutely not to all of the pressure that teachers put upon us working mothers. Working or not, there's just a lot of different things that you have to keep track of. And I am a full-time working mom of 3 boys, and that's 3 different classrooms and teachers' emails that I'm going through every week. And on my middle son, I was looking through his email, and the teacher said, we need a lot of different paper towel and toilet paper rolls and yam. I thought it said and yam. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. I have a sweet potato in my pantry. I don't think I'm going to get around to making it. So I sent my second grade son to school with a plastic bag of just 1 yam. And then I go in the school pickup line. He comes back outside after the full day of school with this Target sack of yam. And he was like, Mom, stop embarrassing me. What is your problem? And then I go back and like, why did you not give this yam to your teacher?
Yeah.
And the email said toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, and yarn. So here I am sending my son with a yam to school, and the teacher thinks I'm freaking psycho. But here I am, and now I'm in the Hobby Lobby parking lot waiting to go in to redeem myself and buy some yarn.
Okay, first and foremost, it's a lot. It's a lot on the teachers. It's a lot on the parents. I don't have kids yet, but from what I can tell, all of my friends, whether they're working or not, are constantly stressed out about the amount of fucking things that they have to drop off at the school. And honestly, who doesn't love a yam? You know what? I'd rather have a yam as a class pet than have to bring home a fucking weird ass iguana. You know, we all got pushed the fucking class pets, and I've done a whole hour-long podcast episode about the class pets. But there's nothing worse than when all of a sudden you're now responsible for the class hamster, and all you wanted to do was be hungover all weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that. I mean, this classroom should be so lucky to get a yam. Maybe they could decorate the yam. Yams last a very long time. We had to do a project at my weird-ass fucking high school where we had to get married, and it was all a part of a Bible class project, and you had to have the egg and carry the egg around and not let it break. And then my buddy, I think my buddy Frank was my husband, and he had to come talk to my dad and all this shit. I would have much rather had a yam as a fake baby than a fucking egg. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Toilet paper rolls, all this shit. It's a lot. It's a lot on the parents. You know, it's a lot on the parents. One of my girlfriends, literally, she said her entire job, she runs a huge company. Her husband, she's like, I have delegated every single school email. Like, unless the building's on fire, do not reach out to me. She's like, I cannot run my full-time business and respond to the amount of emails and requests that we get from the school every fucking day for random shit. It's a lot. You know, back when I was in school, if you didn't go home and give your parents the pink slip or the report card or whatever, they just didn't know about it. And I am a little bit of a talented Mr. Ripley. I have the exact same signature as my mother. So I would sign report cards. If I got in trouble, I'd sign slips to go on, permission slips to go on field trips. You name it. I had that John Hancock down. No one ever questioned it. Until fucking Miss Anna Fink, my math teacher, saw me signing a permission slip to get out of class early in high school because I forgot I had a chiropractor's appointment because I had low-grade scoliosis. So I was signing it after my math test because I had to get out 2 periods early. And she was over my left shoulder and she said she snatched it up. And we had like 1 week of fucking school left my senior year, and I still got Saturday school. Miss Fink, go fuck yourself. Hope you remember. And I looked at her and I said, I got an S curve on my lower spine. And she said, you can't write, sign your mom's shit. I said, I've been doing it at this school for 12 fucking years. And I walked my ass to the principal's office, and he laughed because at the time I was student body president. And I said, what are we going to do about this? He goes, I'm giving you Saturday school just because you never had it. And then I showed up to Saturday school, and they were like, what are you doing here? And I said, you told me I had Saturday school or I couldn't graduate. And they were like, we were just messing with you. And I said, fuck everybody. I've already housed 3 Chick-fil-A biscuits because I was stress eating because I'm not a troublemaker. And well, I'm here. So I'm hanging out with the lowlifes. Ugh. But anyways, your yam. I'm sorry. Yams are an innocent thing to drop kids off with. Yams, a pineapple's nice. A can of black-eyed peas, that's good luck. Maybe have them keep that in their cubby. There's a lot worse things you could send a kid to school with. So I say take the pressure off yourself. And when you see the teacher, just say, little Timmy's fiber's been low. I was hoping he'd hit a couple yams for lunch, and just keep moving. I tried to, at the beginning of the school year, fulfill a bunch of the class lists. And man, I got like thousands of class lists, and I was doing the best I could. But it really got overwhelming. And I'm like, listen, I'm trying to fill this shit. I'm always supporting the teachers. But also, if you get some sort of weird pet snake, I'm not on your side anymore. If when I have children, they get to school on their spaceship, and then I got to bring back to my spaceship some sort of weird amphibious fucking animal, they're homeschooling, and I don't have time for that or patience. So get it the fuck together, everybody on both sides. Don't know why that made me angry. Okay, well, I just asked my sister to get me out of jury duty, and she said, LOL, I'm in the middle of a murder trial. Okay. Here's the thing. The day the special comes out, I also have jury duty. And I pushed it down the road because I was doing shows in Mississippi, so I was technically on tour, and now I think I have to show up. And I don't know who's fucking with me. Actually, it's probably my sister, because this is the 4th time I have been summoned in the last year and a half. I thought that when you, and the last time I had to go into the court. Now, I was released, but I thought if you got released, they didn't call you for like 2 or 3 years. So the day before the special comes out, which is like a huge press day, I might be in Fulton County Court downtown solving crimes. I don't have time for this. There is this crazy case going on, and if you're on TikTok, you just need to follow it. Young Thug, who is a very famous rapper from Atlanta, he allegedly, he's under a huge indictment for like a RICO case and all this gang activity. But the gang he was allegedly connected with is called YSL, not Yves Saint Laurent, but Young Slime Life, allegedly. And the prosecution in Atlanta trying to prosecute him and his alleged cohorts is the funniest fucking thing you have ever seen. It is a shit show of epic proportions. They have held basically everyone in contempt. And, justice for Young Thug at this point and all of his boys, because I hope that they get a mistrial because this shit is insane. But if you like to take gummies at night and have a couple extra minutes on TikTok, just type in the search bar YSL Young Thug case, and this judge has just been annihilating the prosecution team because they are unorganized. And I need my sister, who's also a criminal defense attorney on a different case, to get me out of jury duty because my comedy special's coming out and I'm very stressed about it. Meanwhile, she's actually doing the Lord's work, and I'm over here like, she's not on that trial, by the way. She is not on that trial. She's on another trial. But when Ashley's in trial mode, she's not getting you out of jury duty. Here's the thing, though. Would I thrive on a jury? I would thrive if I ever got picked for a jury. You know what I love? Making new friends. You know what I love? lunch breaks with said new friends. You know what I love? Gossiping about troublemakers in the area. Now, because I have a criminal defense relative, I really believe innocent until proven guilty, or at least let the time fit the crime. So I'm not, you see a white woman with blonde hair and a diamond tennis necklace. You think I'm coming in being a Karen, like guilty, guilty, guilty. No, 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 no. I'm like, show me the evidence. Where are the facts? I need to see handprints, recordings, ring camera footage. And I believe victims. I'm just saying, I'd like to see some facts. I'd like to see some evidence. I would like to see the case supported. Because I also believe a lot of people are innocent until proven guilty. Okay, proof. But I do think I would thrive on a jury. Do I want to be picked for a jury? I do not, because I actually really cannot do it. I've got to be back on the road and in LA and New York and all these different places. But would I become besties, soulmates with my other fellow jurors? For sure. Would by day 4 we are all wearing coordinating outfits just for funsies? Absolutely. And then would it be considered a mistrial? Yes. I'd probably end up getting locked up for like perjury. Can a juror get locked up for like perjury? I'd forget that I can't talk about it on the podcast. And I'd be like, guys, so here's the deal. Juror number 7 is being such a little bitch. We all think that this guy did not do it because, again, the evidence is not there. But she just has a fucking thing about this guy because he looks like her ex who stole $450 from her on spring break, and then like he was cheating on her with a girl named fucking Vic, and all I know is she's fucking everything up for us. Like that would be me, and then I would get thrown in jail for contempt or something. But either way, if you see me at the Fulton County Courthouse on October 10th or 11th, just know I'm ready to try a case. I would be the worst fucking attorney. Never been great with details. I'm great with details if they pertain to me. But other details, your details, that might keep you out of prison for life, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I got fed this video before I came in here today of, how do I even want to say this? Just this random video of Paris Hilton. This guy has a blindfold on, and he's like, giving out free hugs for mental health, and Paris Hilton comes up and hugs this guy and she's like, can I hug you? And like her very Paris Hilton voice, he's like, yes, hugs for mental health. She's like, thanks, I have ADHD. And I don't know why the video just fucking made me laugh. Thanks, I have ADHD. Is ADHD considered a mental disorder?
Yeah, it's on the list of disabilities.
Oh, it's a disability.
That, like, just depression, like when you go through like any kind of like job search
Yeah.
applications, are like, are you a veteran? Do you have a
Yeah.
disability? That's
I mean, I have ADHD, but I never knew. I considered it a superpower. I'm a protected class. That's what I'm going to use to get out of jury duty. I'm going to stand up and just go, I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
I actually think that is true.
Yeah, Tina, I need you to start Googling. Somebody did slide my DMs today and say that if you just tell them that you have heavy periods and you can't sit for long, like I'm not trying to get out of my civil duty. But here's my thing. If I do get picked for a jury, I will be so deep into it, it will become my full new personality. And then I won't be able to talk about it. And that will stress me the fuck out so much you don't understand. Like I will spontaneously combust. I will have a psychotic break. I will have a full mental breakdown. And then I will be walking around and hugging blindfolded people and being like, I'm Paris Hilton, I have ADHD.
You just need a note from the doctor.
I need a note from the doctor that I have ADD. Great, done. Honestly, I'll have a doctor call in and say my acid reflux is so bad. You know who you got to be silent in a courtroom, and when you get the burps, it's a wrap. Okay, let's get one more voicemail. I'm sorry, I'm just going on a fucking tear today. I apologize. It's about nothing. It's about all the things, but here we go. Should I do medallion tags or hip replacement for sex injury? Okay, here we go.
Girl, do I have a story for you?
Here we go.
Absolutely yes and a not, I think. I will remain anonymous for this. So me and my husband, he's 10 years older than me. I'm 50, or he's 50, I'm 40.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago, we were trying some new sex positions,
Oh, yeah.
and they were so fun. We do have a great sex life. And yeah, after that, it was like, wow, my hip is like really hurting. What is going on? Like, what is the problem? I'm young. I shouldn't be having hip problems. So it seemed like every time we would try this position, my hip would hurt. And I'm like, what is the problem? Yes, it was. I mean, you had to have some, like, you should probably stretch before some of these positions here. But anyway, long story short, we tore something in my hip, and I had to have hip surgery. Yeah, how fun was that? Great times. Talk about going to the doctor, and they're like, so how did this happen?
Yeah.
Well, my husband tried to put my leg behind my head.
Okay, first of all, the absolute joy in this lady's voice just brings me joy. I love it. I don't get embarrassed at the doctor. I probably should have. I don't. Like if I, were to rip a labia or go in there and the L5 is no longer attached to the hip flexor, I'm telling you how it happened, and I might bring in a little video evidence. Real quick side note, I want to give a big shout out to the gals in Nashville at the Skin Farm. Amazing, amazing facilities. Like they have amazing products, but they gave me this gold facial this weekend. That's why I'm glowing. And I went in there thinking I was just getting a regular facial. I don't know why when I heard gold facial, I thought, oh, it's going to be like the gold leaf and it'll just be hydrating and moisturizing. And it'll be so relaxing. The next thing you know, I've got an IV in my arm. They're drawing blood because they do some sort of, how do you describe it? They basically take a vial of your blood, spin it in this thing, and then they take the plasma from it, and then they put it on a gold, like micro needling tool with other good beneficial bullshit, and then they put it all over your face. So I thought I was laying down, they'd be playing soft music. I'll hear a water feature, maybe do some extractions, a nice, exfoliant, maybe some hyaluronic acid. No. Next thing you know, my face was fucking numb because they had to numb it, and they're drawing blood. And when I tell you, my face was numb, I could barely move my lips, and I told this fabulous gal who was a medical professional in order to do this gold facial, as I call it. Let's call it a procedure or a treatment. I wouldn't call it a facial. I was telling her everything. I was like, I tried to have an eating disorder once, but it didn't last longer than 3 hours. Shout out to Taylor, the fabulous nurse practitioner at Skin Farm. I was telling her all the medications I was on. I was like, I just recently got prescribed beta blockers, but I don't know if I need to take them because I don't know if my anxiety stems from a physical manifestation or a mental one. And she was looking at me with a numb face like, bitch, you just came in here, let me draw blood, spin your plasma, and numb your face, and you didn't ask any follow-up questions. You know what? I can already tell you're mentally unwell. Take the fucking beta blockers. And Christina was in another room getting a treatment with the door open. Emily's in another room getting the treatment. And they can just hear me literally being like, hey, do you guys have a Diet Coke? So I recently got on a special supplement for people with low fertility. Like it was, why do I share so much personal information with people who don't ask for it? She was a medical professional, so she was saying like, I want to make sure there's any certain medications you're on, that you don't have an allergic reaction, what are your allergies, etc. And I was literally told this woman, I tried to have an eating disorder once and then I got hungry. And that's not even a joke. That's sad. That's so sad truth. And I'm not making light of eating disorders. I am not, but I really tried. There was a girl in high school who she was struggling. She's well now, thank God. And I remember being like, what's wrong with me that I don't have the willpower to skip a meal? And I'm really not trying to do a bit right now. I remember coming home and I think I asked Annie or Mary, I was like, Mary, I'm trying and it's not working. And they were like, one, that's unhealthy. That's sad you're having those thoughts. And two, we know, Heather. Like and I told this poor gal who was just trying to do a gold facial on me today. I told her, I said, I gave her everything. These are my prescriptions. These are the things that, keep me up at night. And she's like, I am a medical esthetician. I'm a doctor, but I'm not your psychiatrist or psychologist. So you don't need to tell me all this stuff. I was like, you have an iPad. Just keep adding it to my chart. Just add it to the chart. But let's get back to your issues. I love that you ripped your pussy, ripped your hip. I mean, and that's the thing too. You don't realize now as you get older, you do have to warm it up a little bit. Long gone are the days of just slipping it in. This is going to sound so weird and wildly specific. I used to watch the show Shameless, and I loved it so much. And Emmy Rossum would always have these sex scenes that happened so fast. And yes, I love a next thing you know, we're fucking moment. That's hot. But I remember saying every time I'd watch the show, all of these intercourse interactions happen way too fast. You can't all of a sudden we're chit-chatting and then we're just fucking on the top of a washer dryer. Like, I need at least a minute to get down, pop the hips, twist the lower lumbar. I got to at least put the hands above the head, maybe take a couple laps around the cul-de-sac, get the heart racing. She would always just fuck so fast on that show. And while, yes, it added a lot of drama to the scene, I would always be like, this bitch is, by into season 2, you're like, her pussy must just be ripped. A lot of jackrabbit. It's like, come on. I tell Jeff these days, I'm like, you got to ease into it. You got to let me know that you want to do sex. You got to communicate. And then you also got to warm up. You can't just starfish on me and start humping. Like, I got to warm up. I have too many other previous ailments and injuries just to get right at it. I mean, pump the fucking brakes. I'm seeing my chiropractor tomorrow. I know I'm moving a lot right now on camera, but my neck is fucking tight. I did stand up on Sunday night and look at this. I can barely move left to right. And here's me going up and down. So I called Dr. Malucci and I said, 911, I got to fly to LA tomorrow. And I literally can't turn. I cannot be at a female entrepreneur party all weekend with Miss Reese Witherspoon and have to turn to people like a 180 turn with my body. I can't do that. That's embarrassing. I'll be in a neck brace by Friday. But those are the things that you have to think about as you get older. Warm it up, relax, calm down. Just let me take a quick lap, maybe do a couple crunches. Because if not, you'll rip your hip off the fucking bone. And we're not even that old yet. Doggy style can be hard because you got to make sure you're supported. If not, the back will go out. And I'm not trying to be on that show. Sex sent me to the ER. I'm not trying to be on it. I don't have time for that. And people say, what's the wildest place you've ever had sex? I'll tell you right now, in my own home, because my mother lives with us. Wild. But good for you for ripping a hip wide open. And I love that you said, you have great sex. You should. If you're, listen, everybody, I guess, goes through I've probably gone through an emotional funk. I've never gone through a sexual funk. You know what I mean? It's been funky. It's definitely gotten funky, but I've never gone through one of those, at least not yet. Give us another 10 years. And I'll probably be like, Jeff, have sex with a nanny. I really don't care. But nothing makes me happier. I feel like when I hear other people who have been married and they still enjoy their lives, that's great. Because there's always a stigma around like, oh, if they're married, oh, God, aren't you bored? Aren't you sick of them? Isn't it terrible? No, she ripped her hip. Good for her. We got Carol over here absolutely getting fucked up, and I love it. Tell everybody in your bunko group you should show up. Ice pack on the pussy. Just say, Bob hit it too hard, and you wear that badge of honor. You walk around that neighborhood and you let them know who's got a big, big bush. You let them know. Good for you. Look, we're doing a lot of exciting things. Again, I'm solving the world's problems. I'm about to probably be on a RICO case trial. And, I dare them to call me to the grand jury for P. Diddy. I fucking dare you. But anyways, I'll pack some snacks for jury duty. I can't wait to see you guys out on the road when we announce those dates. And thank you so much for all the support and love. I'm so excited the trailer came out for the special. And I'll be on Call Her Daddy tomorrow as well. So please tune into everything. Keep the support going. And I promise November 1st, you won't hear from me for a month. I'll do the podcast and you don't have to tell me you like my jokes. I'm pretty. You're a fan. You can literally on November 1st be like, go fuck yourself. And I'll take it. Okay? I love you. I mean it. I'll see you on next week's episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci.